Rightly defining injustice. Okay. That's where we're missing each other, right? Because within the context of CRT, within the context of the social justice movement, social justice is redistributive justice. Social justice is about equity and outcomes and redistributing resources so that those resources are equitable among groups of people, right?
Okay, wrong. He says right at the end of that, I say wrong. Now he's going to say, how can I say wrong? Because he's going to pull up a bunch of academic paperwork that says this is what social justice is as it's defined. And he's using redistributive and resources as ways to determine justice. Voddie Baucham has done this time and time again. And this is my number one. If there's an issue I have with him, this is my number one issue with him. And it is this definition of social justice. It's an academic definition, but it's not by any stretch of the imagination what most people mean when they say social justice. When someone comes and says, I want social justice, they're not talking about redistribution of resources. They're talking about equitable experiences and opportunities. What they're saying is, I don't want to be treated differently because I am a particular shade of skin or I have a particular shade of skin. And I don't want you to respond to the wrongs done to me differently based on my shade of skin or the perpetrator's shade of skin. These are experiences that people are talking about. Social justice is not about resources. It's about experiences. Now, resources are affected by the experiences. But when a police officer shoots a black person, and let's say for this hypothetical that he shoots a black person because he's racist, right? And he shot him. When the mother comes out and says, hey, I want justice for my son, she's not asking somebody to go to the resource house and redistribute some resources. What resources can be redistributed to give her justice for her son? No, that's not what they're asking for. What they're asking for is acknowledgement of the rights and the experiences and the opportunities that their son should have had, and they're asking the state to acknowledge that right was, and that opportunity and that experience was unjust, and to do whatever is necessary to make it right. Particularly, that's going to mean taking whoever did the unjust action and imposing the proper penalty for that unjust action. That has nothing to do with redistribution. That has nothing to do with resources. When a black person fills out an application for a mortgage and that mortgage is declined because for racial reasons, again, in this hypothetical, let's just say that it's true, that that's what happens, and it gets proven. Well, the person who's yelling for justice, they're not asking for resources to be redistributed. What resources need to be redistributed? What happened was, what was unjust was the experience and the opportunity was robbed and taken. And when you're asking for justice, you're asking for that experience and that opportunity to be rectified or to be dealt with or to be acknowledged and restituted or repaired, right? Or at least to change and further to change the future potentiality of that unjust action to continue to happen. That is what social justice is about. Social justice, it's about opportunities and experiences and rights. It's not about redistribution and resources. When you make it about redistribution and resources, you tie it to economy. And when you tie it to economy, then you tie it to socialism. And then you tie that to Marxism. And that's how you end up from social justice to Marxism. But that's not at all what people are talking about, which is why the two are just That's why people are just flat out missing each other. What he's talking about and how he's defining social justice is not at all how people are talking about it. It just isn't. Let's keep going.